is only in Uganda is constructed by the regime. They are deliberate. They are intentional to divide us and keep us away from each other. Because they know as soon as we meet physically, we are going to realize we are brothers and sisters and connect immediately. So they use taxpayers' money, they use violence, they use propaganda and all manner of machinations to keep us apart. So it is a victory just for us to be meeting on a jolly land. Do you know this one? Do they know this one? They have no idea. Do they know that spear? Do they know this one? As a culture man, I respect our African culture. And I don't care what anybody thinks, but when you come to my home, you will find me meeting my guests where I proudly place all these spears and shields that I get from all over the country. These are signs of endorsement, they are signs of acceptance, they are signs of love. So I appreciate the gestures, ladies and gentlemen. So much has been said. I want to appreciate our friends, the Friedrich Naumann Foundation for Freedom in Africa, for making this possible. Thank you, friends. So much has been mentioned. I also want to appreciate the presence of our senior comrade, Honorable Isha Oto. We don't take for you granted your presence here, my brother. We appreciate you. And yes, like the Secretary General said, I cannot wait to slaughter my bull and enjoy it the day you go to fish and enjoy it. But we can wait patiently. Now, friends, so much has been said. I will tell you that just 2 days ago, I was attending the burial of my former headmaster in our village. He's called Mr. Molondo. This man taught me in P3, but he remembered me and he would call me by name. And when I went to politics, he's one of the senior elders that always called me and gave me words of wisdom. Now, a short while before he passed away, he called me to his house and told me, my son, I hear all that you say. I hear when you express your anger and disappointment about this regime. But I want you, moving forward, to be talking less of your anger and shining a light on the alternative, on what you plan, you and your friends, what you plan to do for this country. And I listened to him. And moving forward, I'll try to follow that advice. But please underline the word try. Why? Because it is very hard not to mention the pain, the clear pain of the people. But today, I will not talk about that pain. However, permit me to take us a little back. It is when you analyze a problem, that is when you're going to decide the right solution for that problem. For example, how did we all get here? How did we all become enslaved? Because it's not a question. We are slaves on the land of our forefathers. They actually, and Lango and all people in northern Uganda are slaves. You are slaves on the land of Jipil and Labong. The Bagisu are slaves on the land of Masaba. The Baganda, where I come from, are slaves on the land of Chintu. And this has cut across the entire country. But how did we get here? How did we end up enslaved and divided and hating each other instead of hating the enemy? How did we get here? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind all of us that we are victims. Not just us. Me, I think I'm older than majority of you here. If you are above 43, let me see your hand. You see? If you're Okay, if you're 44 years, if you're above. No, if you are 44 and above, they are fewer and fewer. That means the majority of you are younger than me or my age. And yet me, I was only 4 years when Museveni came to power. What does that mean? Majority of us here were not born. That means we are victims and our parents were victims. We are all victims. Our parents were victims of oppression and of violence and of lies. And for us, we are victims of lies and brainwash. My brothers and sisters, this has been deliberate. It has been done by Museveni and his people, smartly and intentionally and deliberately. It started way back in the times of Idi Amin. Museveni was strategic. He planned this. It started way back in the days of Idi Amin. For example, you remember the murder and disappearance of the former Chief Justice of Uganda, Ben Chiwanuka. Some of you that research, I want you to go because all information is online. It's on TikTok, it's on YouTube, it's everywhere. I want you to go and follow the account of Hussein Lumumba Amin. And you will find out that it is very, very possible in 90% that Museveni and his fellow criminals of Fronasa in 1984 actually are claimed to have abducted Ben Chiwanuka. In the drones of those days, the car belonged to Museveni, UU2 something. Museveni wrote about that car in his book, Sowing the Mustard Seed. And he said it was packed in Mbale, where the government forces of President Idi Amin attacked those terrorists. Amin survived. Museveni survived, his friends did not survive. He wrote about it, not knowing it will come back later. Now, Ben Chiwanuka was abducted up to today, is not seen. In the same tactics that are happening today. That was intended to make all of us, especially the people in Uganda, to hate President Idi Amin. And it worked. It worked. We all grew up hating him until the truth started coming out. That did not stop there, ladies and gentlemen. In 2004, in Bushenyi, while they were burying Adonia Tiverondwa, a former UPC member, Kainda Otafire came out as if a ghost had come on his head, and he confessed that Museveni and his people would put on UPC uniform and go in the villages in Uganda and slaughter people. These are not my words. These words came from the mouth of Kainda Otafire. These people would dress like UPC. They would go kill people, child, mother, father, everything. And then later on, they would come and pretend to be fighting for our people. And that is how the hate in Uganda against Obote and his people started. That's why I'm telling you, we are victims of propaganda and lies. We were set up against each other, to hate each other, and it worked. Until the truth came out. So we grew up hating each other. When Museveni took over in 1986, they had collaborations with people. I have an uncle, his name is Andrew Botakome Kaira. He was one of the rebels that spoke to Museveni and agreed to work together. But the hypocrite and liar that Museveni is, Kaira was kicked and shot dead in 1987. But that is not the story. Where is the story? When Kaira's forces joined Museveni, they were largely Baganda. But after the elimination of Kaira, those Baganda soldiers, they were under Museveni, and as a soldier, you just take orders. They were deployed in northern Uganda. This is a conversation that I had with one of the Acholi leaders. Because in our generation, we were trying to find out how come Kabaka Mutesa and Daudi Cheng, we are best of friends? How come Kabaka Mwanga and the old leaders of Acholi, we are friends? How come that we were so in love that even the most important place in Buganda, Kololo, is named in Anacholi language? How come we are not friends anymore? So this elder told me the story. He said after Museveni took over, the Baganda soldiers, those that belonged to Kaira, they didn't have a leader anymore. They were deployed here and they ordered to massacre. And yes, those Baganda soldiers under the orders of Museveni carried out those massacres. Tell me why the Acholi and Lango and people of northern Uganda would not hate us. So yes, we were set up against each other by the same man. This went on, and it worked for Museveni until the truth came out. That is not enough. I want you, comrades, to go and research. You have your smartphones in your hands. I want you to go and research about a genocide that they call a brilliant genocide or a silent genocide that was carried out here in northern Uganda for so many years. Why? That was not only a revenge against former President Milton Bobi. No, it was to disempower, to dehumanize, to break the people of northern Uganda. That is how we got here. It happened for a long, long time. I have watched many documentaries, and in that documentary, unfortunately, there are leaders like Honorable Norbert Mao, who spoke very painfully for the people of Acholi against that man that used the military to dehumanize them, to destroy their livelihood, to destroy their education, to destroy their future. This was done in northern Uganda, just like everywhere, just like in Busoga, just like in Karamoja, etc., etc. It is so painful that when we were growing up, the people of northern Uganda had been the most educated. And today, the older generation in northern Uganda is more educated than the younger generation. Because it was a deliberate destruction of our people. Unfortunately, the culprit made sure that he transfers the accountability and the blame to somebody else. Our generation. That is how we got here, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to go back. Those that are my age, you would see some of us when I was still an artist. There are so many times when we came here with NGOs singing songs, and the Secretary General talked about it. I have a brother called Father Anton who sang, "Dear Museveni, we are happy to receive you here in Ikulu. The situation is poor," and all that and all that and all that. But Museveni was looking at us and silently laughing at us. We were with so many people. I have a brother called Loketoli who was my bodyguard and fellow artist. He sang a song, "Chan Pacholi we chane chitiku, Chan Pacholi we chane chitiku. But we don't care, we don't mind. But we don't mind, we don't care. Chan Pacholi we chane chitiku." You know that song? I produced that song. We tried to use music. We sang the song with all artists, including the Chameleons, the Boss Nicotines, and others. And we came here and did a concert. That concert was called 3 Hours Away, so far and yet so near. Some of you that were not too young, you were following. All that in the love, but we had to find out what is the source of all that. Ladies and gentlemen, having done all that, some of you are still wondering why Museveni still wields power here. You will ask yourselves, how come then most senior leaders subscribe to NRM? Why most senior leaders here in Acholi, privately they will tell you, my brother, but we have no option. But when Museveni comes, they go down. I will tell you a very quick story. There was a Russian dictator called Joseph Stalin. One day Joseph Stalin was talking to his commanders, and he said, you know what? Today I want to educate you on how to make people subdued and answer to you regardless. He got a live chicken. He started plucking off one feather by one. The chicken was in pain, crying, but he was plucking it, until the chicken lost all the feathers. It was there shaking in so much pain, blood oozing from some places. The chicken was there helpless. Then Stalin told him, watch me carefully. He got pieces of grain. He started throwing to the chicken as he moves. And guess what? The chicken started painfully picking those grains and following Stalin. Picking the grains and following the Stalin. And he said, this is exactly how it works. Crush them, destroy them, dehumanize them, break them, and then they will bow down to you and make you a god. That is what Museveni has done. Not only to northern Uganda, he has done it to Buganda, he has done it to Busoga, he has done it to Karamoja, he has done it to everybody. That is how we ended up here. Slaves, but divided. Instead of hating the enemy, we hate each other. Instead of blaming the enemy, we are blaming each other. That is called the Stockholm Syndrome, where your oppressor will oppress you and force you to love them because you are convinced that you have no option. My brothers and sisters, that is the way they have been able to crush us. That the people in Uganda that used to sing the system for Longoto are now going down to praise the same system. That is how it has happened when he kills your people. He kills your child, then tomorrow sends you 5 million and you go down. That is how Sejirinya's mother, after killing her son, was able to kneel down to Museveni and praise him. That is how you see my brothers like Boss Nicotim, with whom we suffer so much, who knows the pain of the people of northern Uganda, but is ready and willing to praise the oppressor. That is called breaking us. But the good news is that they cannot break all of us. The fact that you are here today means that the spirit of northern Uganda is not broken. It means that all our brains are not completely washed, ladies and gentlemen. We have been all humiliated. All of us driven off our lands. And the terrible thing, for us back in Uganda, they even exhume the remains of our forefathers because they want the land. Here is no different. We hear the stories of Apa. We hear the stories of everywhere else. And now it is blatant because they bring their own Balalo and they place them on your land. And they say, now this land belongs to the Balalo. Why? Because they look the way they look. And you look the way you look. Are you going to accept that nonsense? No. Just a few days ago, I was watching the directive of the minister who ordered the Balalo off Acholiland and gave them 2 weeks. Did you see the tweet that Muhozi put out? Well, I want you to go and read the tweet that Muhozi put out. And it was in Runyankore. SG, please permit me to ask you to say that tweet in Runyankore and translate in English.
The tweet, I believe it's I'm trying to look for the tweet. You know, there are so many tweets that man, and you can. Okay. Harabari Sabajenzi wanje. What does that mean? Fellow herdsmen, Baralo. abali Northern Uganda, who are in Northern Uganda, ishitwe our father umukuru w'ihanga, the head of state, arachire muturije eruguru, ordered that we should leave the north. Ogami njako izira kubihayo, I will come personally to remove you. Hatajiro mundu wena wabihayo takizi. Let nobody dare to remove you from there before I come. That is the truth.
And he spoke it in the national language, the basement language. That is how you are looked at. And you're not alone. You're not the only humiliated people. I've told you the Basoga humiliated, the Baganda humiliated, the Karamajo, everywhere. Why am I raising this, my brothers and sisters? To show you how we got here. Just yesterday, or maybe the day before yesterday, Museveni, like he normally mentions it, courtesy of age, you could say, he came out and apologized to the people of Uganda and Uganda for oppressing them and doing all that. Because apparently his daughter, who is a pastor, was having a function. But while he's apologizing, our brothers are in basements being tortured. Our sisters are being raped. Our people are still being driven off their lands. We are not allowed to be human beings on our own land. While I stand here, I said to Museveni, apology not accepted. The best way, and probably the right way and only way to apologize for injustice is to stop the injustice. If you want to apologize for killing my people, first stop killing my people. That is why we always say we have no problem speaking to anybody, including Museveni. But we are not going to speak to him as prisoners, as captives. Mandela taught us that only free men speak to other men. You must speak from a point of dignity. So brothers and sisters, while we are here today, I just wanted to take you back in that area, in the past, and drive it mainly from the point of Northern Uganda. Why? I could speak the whole day about the predicament of the people in Uganda if I was in Uganda, about the predicament of people of Ankole or Busoga or anywhere if I was there. But now we are in Northern Uganda. Many of you have seen the sons and daughters of Northern Uganda, most especially actually, dying suspiciously. I had a friend who was called Walter Ochora. He died suspiciously. You watched the great son of Acholi called Julius Oketa passing away suspiciously. You saw the son of Acholi called Paul Okech passing away suspiciously. Olanya Gilbert, I mean Jacob Olanya, and very many others. I'm sure one day Museveni will come to apologize to you. And I can guess what the answer will be. So brothers and sisters, having taken us through the story, having shown you that our distance from each other is not our own making, it is deliberate to keep us apart, just like the white people did when they colonized us. They made sure they divide us along tribal lines, divide us along religious lines, divide us along class lines, pick a few oppressed people among us, especially those we respect, feed them, make sure their stomachs are big, and then use them against their own people. That has happened everywhere. It has happened where I come from. It has happened and still happening where you are coming from. Therefore, today, I will end the sad story there and then start the story of hope. Our Deputy President likes to mention it, that the book of Lamentations should be over, and then we go to the book of the Acts of the Apostles. That is where I want to point you to. All is not lost. The fact that we are here means that there will be many, many others after us. Our parents were there. They suffered, they struggled, but at least one of their successes is that we are here. And what we do now, what we think now, and what we decide now is going to determine where our children are going to be. Are they going to be born and raised in a completely divided society? Are they going to be slaves like we've been? That is possible, but we can change that with the decisions we make today. It is possible, my brothers and sisters. Let us start by opening the eyes of our people, teaching them who the true enemy is and what we must do about that. Number 2, let us never surrender. Yes. Friends, we are not where we want to be, but at least we are not where we were. We keep moving forward. The fact that so many people are awake, for us to consider that a success. Once upon a time, they tried to make sure this entire generation drowns in alcohol. That is why I was friends with so many, the Musevenis, the Sales, the Moses, when I was identified by dreadlocks and by weed and by alcohol. That is where they want us to go. But I want us to take a decision to be awake and then awaken many others. Let us ensure that we change our mindset and we are united by our pain, our common pain, and our common hope for a better Uganda, for a new Uganda where everybody will be free and equal before and under the law. That should be the aspiration of all of us. In a Uganda where you won't be shy to be a Karamajo, or a Lani, or a Nacholi, or a Mani, or a Muganda, or a Musoga, or a Mamunyankole, or anything. Because under the law we will all be the same, equal. I want to call all of you ladies and gentlemen to the effort of keeping the hope alive. Let us keep the hope alive, ladies and gentlemen. Every factor is on our side. Every factor. The people are on our side. Majority of the people that you speak to, well, some of them will tell you silently, but they will tell you that they are tired and they want to change. At least that you see, you feel everywhere. So, the people are on our side. We are not breaking any law. Although now they've started calling us rebels. Because they only know violence. They only know violence. They want to find a way of dealing with us violently. So, the law is on our side. Because God will only do for you what He can do through you. Yes. Anything that God cannot do through you is not going to do for you. Because we are created in the image of God. And we are the representatives of God. So everything that God wants to do for our people, it will have to go through us. I'm very glad I'm speaking to leaders. You, God has chosen to lead our people, to lead us through this pain and get us there. Let us do what leaders do. The first thing, leaders educate themselves. Leaders make sure they are informed. Please be informed. Please research. My friends, when you go to TikTok, when you go to Facebook, Twitter, don't look for news, don't look for beautiful girls or boys. Look for facts, because they are everywhere. We live in a new generation, an enlightened generation. Let us use that internet. There's a young man from Kitgum who I like so much. Every now now and then I see him educating the whole Uganda about northern Uganda. Let us have many more such people. Speak for your people. Because if you don't represent yourself, somebody is going to misrepresent you. So, present yourself. I have traveled the entire country. The pain I see here is the pain I've seen everywhere. And yes, the hope I see here is the hope I see everywhere. Let us connect this our country. Let us connect this generation. You young people have the power to change things. Let us change them. Good enough, we are already on course. We have an opportunity. There has been opportunities that come and we miss them. They come and we miss them. Every 5 years, there's an opportunity to upset the status quo. We have had those opportunities. We had in 1996, yes, the dictator played this game. We had in 2001, 2011, 2016. By 2021, we were old enough, and yes, we were in the dark by ourselves. We learned the lessons. We watch how the dictator operates, but we refuse to give up. Because, like I said, everything is on our side. There's one important thing that I did not mention that is on our side, and that is age. That is age. No matter what Museveni does. I mean, look at him and look at yourself. Look at him and look at me. The man cannot even chase a duck and catch it. So this is a great opportunity. This is an opportunity that our fathers did not get. The dictator was still strong, but now the dictator is finished. He is used and useless. He is wasted. He is finished. Even just walking, he feels the pain. Okay? We are younger than him. We are even younger than his messed up son. We are moral. We are connected to the world. He can no longer do mass killings. And when he does them, they get in his neck. Because right now, he's in the International Criminal Court for the people he killed in 2020. He would have massacred us all by now. But he knows what stands ahead of him. So that's an opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, there is another opportunity that is coming our way, and is coming in just a matter of months, just under 6 months, and that is called the protest. I've had so many people, so many young people all over the country say, no, Bobi, get us guns. Others say, let's go to the bush. I have not told anybody to go pick up guns. Although I've not told them not to go. That is their business. But as for me and the National Unity Platform, power of the people, we believe in the power of the people. Don't get me twisted. Even the power of the people sometimes uses violence, especially when they are justified. It was the power of the people, especially where I come from, that helped Museveni come to power. But for us, we are non-violent because we want to defeat violence. We started Museveni and we know that he fears he is a perennial coward. He fears competition. He has never been elected in his entire life. The man has been defeated at every election. Sam Kutesa defeated him in 1980. So Museveni fears electoral competition. That is why to him every election is like a military operation. Now, we took a decision that for us to defeat this man is to render his tool of violence useless. Bobi told us that some people are too poor that money is all they have. You hear me? So if you find somebody that takes pride, that thinks money is everything, then raise morality and make sure money is useless. That person is going to cry with their own eyes. So in this fight, a democratic fight, guns have no place. They just fix them. They'll come with guns, pick our people, but when the cameras come, they hide the guns, they say, for us we are democratic. So that is why we are dragging them to an area where they have no chance, and that is an election. But for us to maximize that election, we need to mobilize the entire country, from the north to the south and central, from the west to the east, everywhere. If people turn up in large numbers and vote Museveni out at every corner, it can work. And I've witnessed this. Brothers and sisters, there was every effort to subvert the election of Kawempe. Because Museveni feared, we announced that we are launching the protest vote in Kawempe. There was violence like never before. Museveni came, brought that, they beat people, they killed some of our friends, but people stood firm even if they were members in a polling station and voted him out. He got shocked. The man shamelessly came out and said, oh, they cheated us. It is NUP that brought that. It is NUP that brought military police. Even when he owns the media, even when he owns the courts, he shamelessly went to court and ordered that judge called Wamanya to overturn the election. He thinks he's winning, but he's exposing himself even further. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us push Museveni and turn him into opposition. Because in the case of Narukola, he's the one complaining. We must turn the tables and make sure our oppressor is now the one running. That's why I'm calling upon you, ladies and gentlemen, to embrace the protest vote and use it in every possible way. Not only when it's time to vote, but before, during, and after. Look for that vote everywhere. Speak to everybody. Vote. Make sure everybody votes. Guard your vote. Don't leave the polling station. And should they try to mess that with that vote, rise up. I don't make fun. Brothers and sisters, this is possible. This is possible. We are oppressed. But when we free ourselves, we must have a plan. And this is a plan that we're doing to ensure that we have leadership at every corner. Because when Museveni falls, that will not be the victory. That will only be the beginning of our struggle. Because our struggle is to build a new Uganda with accountable leadership. And those leaders, I am looking at them. I'm looking at the ministers. I'm looking at the ambassadors. I'm looking at all the government officials, the IGPs, the CDFs. They are among you, my brother and sister. So let us start now. Nothing should come as a surprise. I mean, the guy is wasted. What if you hear he's dead today? Because it's possible. He might not wake up. As a generation, we must prepare ourselves to take our country forward. This struggle is not a sprint, no, it is a marathon. We are going to keep going. The dictator will definitely go. He might not go today, he might not go tomorrow, he might not go the next month or next year, but he is clearly going. So we must prepare for that day, because that day is coming, Mungu. That day is coming, I have no doubt in my mind. Regardless what they do to us, we They might imprison us or even kill us. But the seed that has been sowed, please and please never allow that seed to die. Let it grow in you. Let it grow in all of us. We are going to free up ourselves. But what we are charged with, especially you, the leaders that are here, you are different from the supporters, the mere supporters. You are leaders. And the duty of a leader is to see the way, to go that way, and also to show the rest that way. That is why you leaders are charged with the responsibility of offering a direction. The most important direction is that we are freeing up. That we need to be the leaders to plan for what happens after the fall of Museveni. Because this that we are doing, and I'm glad you mentioned it, the man is having high blood pressure now. He's in the ages of Robert Mugabe. Dictators die, and Museveni is not any different. But when they go, we as a generation must have a way forward. I want to thank you for coming here today and to remind you that you are the hope you've been waiting for. To remind you that we are on our own. But if we use ourselves right, we are enough to get where we want to go. Please go meet all the comrades there. Make sure you keep the hope alive. Make sure you offer leadership. Make sure you open the eyes of the people. Make sure you unite our people. Make sure you are as different from Museveni and his son as possible. Make sure you are the representation of us wherever you go. When the people in your constituency look at you and hear what you speak, they will make up their opinion about us. So what you say, or what you do, or how you present yourself determines how they see Chagulanyi, how they see Mama Zedriga, how they see Ageno or Senyonyi or Rubongoya or Asega. So represent us well. We trust you. We honor you. But most importantly, your people trust you. God has chosen you for this. You did not choose yourself. Let us go do this. Let us free our country and go ahead to build a Uganda that we, our children and grandchildren will be proud of. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening.